Today I'm going to show you how to strop the edge on several different carving tools, which will keep it razor sharp. This is intended for tools that already have a pretty good edge, not for tools that are damaged or dull or were never sharpened well in the first place. I'll give you an example. This beginner set of Flexcut tools comes very sharp straight out of the box, and all you need to do is strop them to maintain that edge. I'll put a link in the description. This set of carving tools by Schaaf was a lot cheaper, but it required me to reprofile several of the edges and to hone them with a whetstone before they were even ready for a strop. I'll put a link to these in the description as well, but don't buy them unless you're pretty good at sharpening or you're ready to learn. I'll cover that in a future video. The easiest carving tool to strop is the carving chisel, which has a flat edge. For this one, all you need is a leather strop and some sort of honing compound, also known as Gouge. This is an abrasive compound that polishes the blade. Rub that on your leather strop and then try to match the angle that the bevel is already at. Press it down and pull back. Flip it over. When the blade is already pretty sharp, it should not require more than 6 or so passes. Another carving tool that you'll need to strop is the V-tool, named so because of its shape. The V-tool has 2 different bevels and an inside part. For stropping the V-tool, I like to use this thing, which is called a SlipStrop. It's sort of a hybrid between a traditional strop and a slipstone, which has shapes that you can polish your blade with. This is meant to match up with several different types of carving tools. For stropping the inside of the V-tool, I'll find the triangle that matches the profile of the V-tool, which is this one, and load up the wood with my honing compound. Then I'll place it as flat as I can against this, making sure that I have contact on both of the insides of the blade, and I'll pull it back. Once again, if your tool is kept in good condition, it really shouldn't take more than about 6 passes. If it's a little bit dull, you could do maybe as many as 20 passes. Then I'll flip it over to the flat strop, which is equivalent to a traditional strop. Load that up with the honing compound and try to match the angle of the bevel, placing it down flat on one of those bevels. And I'll pull backwards. Always pull backwards when you're using a strop so that you don't gouge into the wood or into the leather. These are very sharp and they will damage the leather if you don't pull. Flip it to the other bevel and do 6 passes. Now this should be very sharp and ready for use. I do this about once per day of carving. Another carving tool that you'll need to strop is the carving gouge. The carving gouges have a curved blade and come in a lot of different shapes and sizes, but they are all stropped the same way. The first thing to do is locate a rounded portion of the SlipStrop that is just a bit smaller than the diameter of the inside of the gouge, which this one would do quite well. You can also use a wooden dowel for this, which is convenient because they're cheap and they come in a lot of sizes. Load up the wood with your honing compound. Start by placing one corner of your carving gouge on this piece of wood, and then pull it backwards while sliding it sideways. The goal here is to polish the whole inside of the cutter all the way across the cutting edge. Now I need to polish the outside on the bevel. For this, I'll use a flat strop, which would be the back of my SlipStrop or a traditional strop. Load that up with the honing compound And then I want to match the angle of the bevel and place it on one corner, pull it backwards while twisting it. It's important to maintain this bevel angle while you pull it back and twist it. If you go too high, you can end up rounding your edge and it won't be very sharp. Too low, you won't be touching the edge at all. So start on one corner, pull it back while rocking it and twisting the gouge. This will polish the whole cutting edge. Now that you know how to properly strop your carving tools, it'll be much easier to use them, and the cuts will leave a nice, smooth, clean surface. Thank you so much for watching, and please like and subscribe. Bye.